Hello beautiful people, and welcome to today's pick a card reading. I completely forgot I still had to film the introduction, so I already put these out, but that's okay. Just doesn't look as pretty as before, but that is fine. So in today's reading, we are looking at how the person on your mind is currently feeling about you. And we have 3 piles, pile 1, 2, and 3. We will also have an extended reading for all of the piles, and you can find the links for that in the description box below or somewhere down below. And you can also, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can also find a link for that in the same place. And yeah, that is all I have to say for now. So I will leave you to focus on which pile, which deck, which stone calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading on how the person on your mind is feeling about you. And I have to say, I was trying to start filming this pile and my phone kept switching into slow-mo mode in the camera app. So I feel like this is a slow-moving energy. I like to read the energy of everything that's going on around me while I do the readings rather than just the cards. And I feel like I already felt that this was kind of slow-moving, or maybe a connection that's on pause right now, or has been on pause for a while. But let me show you what we have and we will get into it and we'll see. So we're starting off your reading with number 21, Sagittarius, I see. We have the 4th house, Cancer energy could be significant. We have sextile. We have you can't find goodness because you lost your heart. I read this as goodbyes. Like for a second, it looked like it said goodbyes. So it feels like this is potentially someone that you are in separation with, but someone who is not over the connection. And this could be a mutual energy as well. You could have been in separation with this person for some time now, but it feels like the influence of the connection is still very much there. The emotional connection is still very much there. I'm also just going to try to make sure we will end up having everything in the frame and that it's relatively straight. We have calm within transformation. This came out in reverse, so we'll keep that in mind. We have solitude. The Tower, Aquarius or Scorpio energy could be significant. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the Starborn, and the Kiss. For some reason, I feel a lot of Venus energy. Taurus or Libra placements could be significant, or Taurus or Libra season. But besides that, I think this person is very, very, very much drawn to you, regardless of any physical distances or any physical obstacles that may be in the way of this connection. There's a very, very deep sense of closeness, a feeling of home that they feel towards you. For most of you, I do think there is potentially a physical distance here as well. You could live in different places. And this could have been the cause of a separation for some of you, but this is essentially a very, very deep spiritual kind of bond that this person may be feeling a bit hot and cold about as well. And what I mean by that is, while they feel very drawn to you and this connection and potentially the memories that you shared in the past, and they're very fond of this, they're very nostalgic towards this as well, there's also this pull from their physical surroundings, it seems, where they feel like they can't really get to you, where the road to you is blocked off, maybe by their own mind, or maybe by other physical circumstances that either of you is in, or maybe that both of you are in. One or both people here could be in another relationship. You both could have moved on physically, but it feels like the connection here still remains, and it's still very significant and valuable for both of you. This connection seems to have been kind of a pivotal point for both of your growth journeys, both of your, I don't know, it feels like there's been a lot of like death and rebirth internally for both of you, and it feels like a lot of this has been influenced by this connection or directly triggered by this connection and your interactions with each other. It feels a bit like you met each other and it was an instant click. It was like a very strong pull. And then you got to deepen the bond to a certain extent, but maybe the physical aspects or all of the circumstances, all of the pieces just didn't fall where they should or where you wanted them to. It feels a bit like an almost type of energy, where it almost happened, where you almost had that conversation, where you almost decided to take a risk, but then you didn't. It feels like you almost got there, but then you didn't. And for most of you, this could have been because this person was afraid to experience something that feels so intense and so intimate. Something that is so intensely intimate that it kind of knocks them off their feet, even though it also feels so familiar and so comfortable and so much like home. It's quite an interesting energy because I think in certain ways this person chose to stay in their comfort zone. Even if that wasn't the happiest choice, even if that wasn't what really made them happy, it feels like that's what felt more safe. Even though there is this sense of safety with you, there is also this unpredictability to this connection that they felt that I think caused feelings of insecurity, of not being able to trust the situation itself, not being able to let go of maybe their self-limiting beliefs, maybe their fears and anxieties when it comes to relationships. I think this person very much recognized that this connection was transforming something within them, some behavior, some habits that weren't really helpful to them. But this can be very scary because we're often very familiar with these patterns, these behaviors, and sometimes it feels safer, not better, not more comfortable necessarily, not nicer, but sometimes we choose to stay in our comfort zone. And I think that's what this person did. Even if their comfort zone was like moving to another country, it feels a bit like a flighty kind of energy. But I don't think any of this behavior was caused by like their feelings for you, in the sense that I don't think this separation was caused by a lack of love or a lack of caring or a lack of attraction. It feels like it had everything to do with what was going on within them. I think there was a lot of fear. I think there was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of uncertainty about the future. This may be someone who tends to self-sabotage a lot, kind of get in their own way, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, because I think this is this could be someone who may have been extremely codependent to a very unhealthy extent in the past, where they may have felt like they lost themselves in a relationship. And this doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship necessarily, but this could just be someone who tends to give a lot to the person that they are with and give a lot of themselves, and someone who may have difficulty setting boundaries because they don't really want to hurt anyone. So it feels a bit like, for some of you, this person could have just been all in 1 second, and then they recognize that they are all in and they want to give more, and this could have scared them off and then made them act in the exact opposite way, the other extreme of completely closing off and saying, I don't think we should talk anymore, or I don't think we should do this anymore. It feels like it was very quick moving energy in the past, but now things have kind of stalled. Yet at the same time, this feels like a connection where there are these cycles of endings and beginnings and endings and beginnings, one after another, even if like some cycles are a couple of months long, some cycles are maybe 2 years long. It feels like this is someone that you have essentially remained connected to, if not physically, then definitely in an emotional sense. I feel like for most of you, it's not going to be that you are physically with this person. I don't think this is going to be someone that you are. You could be. There could definitely be exceptions, but I feel like for most of you, this is not going to be someone that you are currently with. And for most of you, this could be a long, I was not going to say that. I almost said long distance situation, which it definitely could be, but this could be a no contact situation for you as well. But how they feel towards you now, there is still a lot of admiration. I think one reason why I went to the past of this connection and kind of lingered there is because their feelings are also, or their mind also works in a very similar way, where they kind of still are lingering in the past of this connection, in the memories, and they still hold this connection very dear to their heart. When it comes to expressing that, though, I think there are interruptions, there are obstacles, either because both of you have moved on, or not just that, but because this person has these mental blocks of what they are able to give and what they need to avoid so that they don't fall back into the same patterns that they had in the past. I do think this is someone who is self-aware, but also someone who gets very overwhelmed by the behaviors that they may need to dismantle. The behaviors that they know are not serving them, but it still feels safer than things being unpredictable and uncertain and risking like losing themselves. And of course, I'm not saying relationships mean you lose yourself. I don't think it means that at all. I think you can set healthy boundaries, and you should set healthy boundaries in your relationships, still be an individual, and yet work with a partner. Make it work with a partner, because it takes effort, it takes work. It's never just going to be a perfect fit and you never argue or you never have differences. And I don't think that aspect of a relationship is what this person would be afraid of, like not the commitment part, not the loyalty. I don't think this is someone who is afraid of any of those things. I think they just have a fear of losing themselves or losing their way, or things becoming, for lack of a better word, things becoming toxic. They could have been in toxic dynamics in the past, and while I think they know that it is definitely possible to make a relationship work and not lose yourself, it also feels like they have this thought that that's not what they can do. Like, other people can do it, but they're not there yet. And it really feels like they are getting in their own way when it comes to healing these beliefs. And kind of getting rid of these beliefs and setting themselves free. This seems like for some of you, this could have been like a very long process. For others of you, this may be relatively faster moving, like this could be a more recent separation, but I also definitely get the sense of this like ancient connection. And if this is your thing, this could be a past life type of connection. I don't know how I personally would put this in the framework of my beliefs yet. I don't know how exactly to fit it in, or if it does fit in. But also, if this like fits with your beliefs and it works for you, I'm not saying this to like invalidate that or anything. This is just my personal opinion. And if you have, and if you want to share your beliefs about past lives, I would be very, very interested to hear about it too. Because yeah, I think it's very interesting. But either way, this could be a past life kind of connection, or just someone that you've known for a very long time as well, or someone you knew a long time ago as well. But regardless, it feels like there has been this sense of like, I know you from somewhere, or I know you, but that could also just be because you got to know each other really well as well. Or you just like met and you knew each other's language. And I don't necessarily mean like literal language. You could be from different places though, especially with Sagittarius here. You could be from different cultures, so you could speak different languages, literally. Let's get into the tarot. I'm curious to see what else is going to come through. Now I want to get more into their current feelings for you. And we will also have an extended, which I will quickly talk about now before I get into the shuffling. In the extended, we are looking at what you need to know about this connection, the truth of this connection, anything from the past, present, or future, or all of it, whatever comes through. I'm not going to limit that part. We will also get tons of channeled messages from this person, and we will also get tons of channeled messages from your higher self, and if needed, we will finish off with additional advice. So you can find the link for that somewhere down below, and I will now get into this. How does this person feel about We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. They're definitely not satisfied with where this connection is at right now, or how things happened. Like, there is a bit of an energy of I didn't mean for it to happen this way. So they feel like they recognize that they've hurt you. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. or they feel like they have hurt you, even if that wasn't the case. But for most of you, it feels like there was some kind of like difficult goodbye or difficult separation. Maybe a very difficult conversation that took a lot of strength to have, that took a lot of courage out of them. Even if they were acting from a place of fear. Because I think this is someone who has really cared about your feelings, but maybe didn't have the best way of showing that. Leo energy could be significant, or Leo season with the Strength card coming out as well. How does this person feel? What does this person feel about pile? We have the Three of Wands in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. It feels like there are all of these feelings, but they have no way of expressing these. They have no outlet. We have the Two of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse, and it really feels like there is this overflow of emotions, but they don't know where to go. They don't have a direction. They're just kind of bursting out of this person. So it really feels like their way to you is blocked, or they feel that their way to you is blocked. And it could just be blocked by fears or anxieties that they're experiencing as well. I think there will be an aspect of like fear or anxiety on this person's end for, I'm not going to say all of you, but a big percentage of you. But for some of you, there could also be physical distance that is separating you on top of this. So they may be far away and unaware of like what you're doing. If you're with someone, have you moved on? Would you want to have a conversation with them? Would you not? There seems to be a lot of doubt in that sense. We have the Two of Swords. It feels like there's no way of getting what they want. And even if you are not with this person physically, the feelings are there. Like the caring energy is still there. And it's quite a soft energy too. It's an energy of, I wish you the best, but I can't be there with you. Or I wish you the best, but I can't give that to you. You deserve the best, but I couldn't make that happen in this connection. Gemini energy could be significant, or Gemini season, but I think the Lovers coming out really talks about how connected this person still feels towards you, how there also could have been mirroring going on in this connection as well. Pisces energy could be significant with the Hanged Man in reverse. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Yeah. The obstacles that are between the two of you make this person hold back. They also may kind of use the obstacles as a way of rationalizing their own behavior, in the sense that, let's say they were afraid of getting into a relationship because they were afraid of losing themselves, but then they got a job offer and then they took that, and they may have rationalized their own feelings as like, oh, but this wouldn't work in a practical sense because I'm going to move for the job, even though potentially there could have been ways around it. So it feels a bit like they are very much self-aware. They are very aware of the kind of fear or anxiety-based thoughts that they have been having about this connection and about relationships. And yet, it feels like it may feel a bit easier to also support that by, or cover that up a little bit by saying, oh, but it's the practicality of it. But they know, I think, that this is a connection that has triggered a lot of anxiety in them. Not because of something you did or said, but I think it's just the intensity of their feelings towards you and the intensity of how you connected. It feels like this has been a connection like no other for this person. And maybe it's the same for you as well. With the Strength and the Hanged Man, there is this energy of wanting to change something, like actively wanting to change something, but at the same time having all of these thoughts and beliefs or obstacles that they have created. And I am by no means trying to like blame this person. I think it's perfectly normal to be scared, to be anxious. We are human. We're meant to experience all of these emotions, even if not all of them are very fun or useful in every situation. It's more so that I just hope this person can break out of their fears and the limits that they've placed on themselves, because I think this is someone who is very, very strong in their existence. And what I mean by that is I think this is someone who can really make things happen. And I think this person, they have a bit of like a teacher kind of energy. They don't need to literally be a teacher, but I think they have a lot of wisdom, especially wisdom that they're able to share with other people. But when it comes to themselves, it feels like there is this blockage. Like they're always a bit more harsh with their own self, a lot more critical, and a lot more biased. And I think this is also a very human thing to experience. It happens to me too. I'm sure it happens to you too sometimes. But I feel like this person is trying their best. But I also feel that they are quite overwhelmed by their own feelings, by the intensity of their feelings. And it's beautiful to be able to feel so much, but sometimes it can be scary. Sometimes you might think, I just want this to stop and I want to go by my day. I don't want to think about these things. I think this is someone with a lot of depth, but they may struggle with exploring it sometimes. And we have I mean, now I flipped it, but it was in reverse, the Four of Wands. So I do think there is potentially a long distance component to this, or maybe going, like, if this was your high school sweetheart, you could have like gone to university in different places. Something along those lines. Of course, that won't be the case for everyone, but is there anything else that wants to come through for my pile ones? I'm gonna give this 3 more shuffles. All right, that is all we have for that. And let's get you, I want to use the heart-shaped cards that are very difficult to shuffle, but they are pretty. So let's get you some advice. What message does pile 1 need to hear right now, please, universe? What message does pile 1 need to hear? Something will be revealed in a dream or through someone you trust. The information sheds light on something that has remained hidden from you for some time. Suddenly, the missing piece of the puzzle appears and you're able to see the bigger picture. This does also feel like it may have been kind of a mystical connection, especially if it's been something that's been going on for a long time. And a connection that you feel so strongly can be confusing, especially if you haven't felt like this very often or experienced things like this before. I think that's definitely the case for this person. It may not be the case for you, but I think that's definitely the case for this person. So this is not necessarily advice, but we will take it. It's kind of cryptic. Hopefully the extended, I actually want to look into this in the extended, so we will do that, but I will also, yeah, I didn't prepare my advice cards. And I am having a bit of difficulty to find out there, this is what I wanted there. What message wants to come through for my pile 1s, please? What message wants to come through? What advice does pile 1? We have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Some of you may be frustrated over being in this connection in the first place, and you may be wondering why. Like, why does it have to be confusing? Why does it have to be this way? I can't really answer that question for you necessarily, but it also feels like this connection has led to a lot of growth in you. So it feels like there's a lot to be grateful for as well, even if it has been very, very difficult. I can't tell you what to feel or how to feel about this situation. No one should and no one can. And it's perfectly okay to be frustrated or annoyed or confused, angry. But I also think that potentially there is some other feelings to explore about this connection if you haven't already, or like some other aspects of this connection to explore if you haven't already, because I understand that it has not been easy. But it also feels like it has led you to evolve so much. And I feel called to say, with great wisdom comes great responsibility. I think this is kind of because I watched one of the Spider-Man movies with some friends, and I think there's a quote that's like, with great power comes great responsibility. But yeah, and the other card we have is surrender. I can release my need to control. Everyone's favorite card after anything related to divine timing, I know, but I think there is a lot of peace in knowing that you did everything you could. You have done everything you can with the information you have right now. And in the past, it was the same. You did everything you could with the information that you had at that time. I definitely think this connection has led to a lot of evolution within you, and that is something to be proud of. If you are not proud of yourself for it, I will be proud of you anyway. So you should too. But I think you don't have to control the situation, and there is peace in admitting that. You don't ever have to try to control anyone else, because you shouldn't have to convince something to be in your life. And if it is meant to be in your life, it will find its way back to you. I'm not making any comments about like they're not coming back or they are coming back. That part will depend on your exact situation. I don't necessarily feel that this is like the final point for this connection, though what other forms it might take, again, will be different based on your situation. But I will try to kind of dig into that in the extended too. But yeah, on this note, I will let you go by your day. Unless you're joining me in the extended, then I will occupy your time for a little bit more. But I wish you a great day, and I'm sending you love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading on how the person on your mind is currently feeling about you. We are starting off with these oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through, as well as some advice, and there will also be an extended for this reading, which I will talk about later on. So we're starting off with Jupiter return benefits, the Sun, Capricorn, service, everything will be okay, law of cycles and rhythms. We have the Hierophant, the King of Cups, we have the King, and we have the Mountain. In terms of signs, we have Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus. Then I'll also throw Virgo in there. These signs could be relevant, or the seasons of these signs could be relevant, but they don't have to be. So for most of you, I think this is someone that you are already with, or someone that you are at least in, or someone that you at least have been with. But for most of you, I think this is going to be someone that you are like actively in contact with, even if you are not necessarily in a relationship with them. So pick your scenario, but I don't think this is someone that like you are on bad terms with, or like if there was a separation, I feel like it would be a separation that neither person actually wanted. It could have been a separation due to circumstances, because there are a lot of loving feelings here. So it doesn't feel like someone did the other person wrong, or there were like negative energies lurking or anything along those lines. It feels good. And let me explain that a bit more. Feels good. That's your reading. Thank you for coming by. No, anyway, I'm gonna be serious now. So with this King of Cups, this is someone that I think feels a lot of emotion in terms of their capability of feeling like emotions. I think that runs very deep. However, I also feel like this is someone who is not able to easily express how they are feeling. This is obviously someone with a lot of depth, a lot of layers, like many layers. I think that's because this is someone who can go quite deep, but it also feels like maybe they haven't been fully comfortable exploring that part of themselves. I think this is someone that has the potential to be very intuitive, but I think they're very practically minded, so at the same time their intuition isn't necessarily the thing that stands out about them the most. I think this is someone who is a bit conservative when it comes to expressing their emotions, but they mean well. And this could be like someone that you are with currently, but you're going through a rough patch right now. Because while the energy itself feels good and very loving and things are essentially okay, it also feels like there are additional frustrations potentially relating to someone's career or some kind of financial issue or some kind of prior commitment someone made, like prior to this connection or alongside this connection, that is causing some obstacles. And I don't mean that this person is like dating two people or anything along those lines. It feels more like they're working too much and they have to work a lot and they don't have time to give to this relationship, or you are long distance. I'm also in a long distance relationship, by the way, so I feel you if that's what's happening for you. We see each other almost every week, but it's not easy. I know. So if you like see this person barely, because you live very, very far away, and your current circumstances mean that you can't live closer right now, it could be causing a strain on your relationship, and this person is very much aware of that, if that is the case. But besides that, I think this person is not worried. But one thing that is sticking out is that I think you might be worried, because there is a sense of this person wanting to reassure you that things are okay. There is a sense of this person wanting to look after you, wanting to be there for you, wanting to support you, wanting to take care of you, wanting to give to you, wanting to make things work. This isn't someone that is unsure or doubtful about you or their feelings for you, but they understand that the circumstances that you are currently dealing with are not ideal, and they would like to not be in these circumstances necessarily. But this is someone who has a very strong sense of responsibility. I think this is someone who is very honest as well. I heard law-abiding citizen, so that's good to know. That's good. This is someone who is also like, who has big goals for themselves, but I think they have difficulty finding the courage to go after these goals. In certain cases, I think they are very brave. Like when it comes to like, if you are long distance, for example, when it comes to taking on the responsibility of I lost my train of thought, but I think this is someone who is like not afraid to take responsibility at all. And I think they are brave when it comes to, I was gonna say, enduring being at a distance from you, or enduring this rough patch, or enduring misunderstandings or arguments or confusions. You don't have to be like at a distance at all, by the way. You can just be having some arguments. It can feel a bit like emotional distance. But essentially this is someone who really, 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 really cares about you and really cares about the connection, and they want to make it work. They want to open up paths to make it work. If there is no opportunity to make this work right now, or like there is no optimal opportunity, I think this is someone who is going to hang on and try to make things optimal. Someone who's going to climb the mountain that leads to you, or climb the mountain with you, climb over obstacles with you, or straight up destroy them if they have to. I think this is someone with a lot of resilience, and I think this is also someone who's very stubborn. And I like to say one very good thing about stubborn people is, while sometimes it can be annoying, especially if you're both stubborn, sometimes maybe you get into like petty arguments. First of all, if you do get into petty arguments, don't worry. No relationship is perfect, and it's okay to have misunderstandings or different perspectives or different ways you love or different ways you like to receive love. All that matters is, well, the thing that matters the most is that you communicate these things and that you remember and remind yourself that having a disagreement does not mean it's the end. It does not mean you are incompatible necessarily, unless it's like a very, very, very big deal that you are disagreeing on. So it's okay to have ups and downs in relationships, especially if you don't get to spend a lot of time with this person, for example, because you are both focused on work and you can see each other like once a week, or they're traveling all the time for work, so you like barely see them, or you're traveling for work, whatever it may be. Silence or like being far away can definitely cause anxiety or fear, and that is perfectly normal. But know that these fears are not based in reality. It's not your intuition saying something is wrong. It's often just your mind filling in the gaps. Like when you are with this person, when you are talking to them, check in with how you feel then. Does it feel okay? Does it feel forced? Does it feel like something is off, like truly off? Do you feel bad? It's important to check in with these feelings, because I feel like most of you are going to be in the category where things are okay, things are healthy, things are good, but there may be some hiccups along the way with practical issues or finances or time limitations. For some of you, this person could be like married. Don't be alarmed. If you don't already know this about this person, this is definitely not the case. So don't be alarmed, please, please. And if this person is in a marriage, it also feels like it is like just a shell of a commitment rather than something that they are very involved in, something that they are very focused on. It just feels like maybe they have some responsibilities that come with that marriage, maybe some children. And that may be something that's keeping them a bit further away from this connection. But in terms of how they're feeling, there is so much responsibility. Like that is the strongest thing that is coming through. This person feels responsible within this connection. They feel they want to take part in building and sustaining and maintaining this connection. They know that it's not just up to you to make it work. They want it to be mutual. They want you both to like put in the work. They want you both to compromise or find ways to make things work together. They don't want it to be a one-sided thing. And maybe sometimes it feels one-sided, especially if this person is not the best at expressing their feelings, but know that their feelings run deep and they really, really care about you and they want to reassure you, but it almost feels like they don't quite know yet how to speak your language. Maybe you're teaching them how to speak your love language, and maybe you're learning theirs as well. I think that is the way to go. You gotta learn each other's love language. It's not that you should expect the other person to give you love only in the way that you prefer and to like abandon what they normally do, or to just switch from doing something else to speaking your love language 100% of the time. As with everything in a relationship, it should go both ways and it should be balanced. So it's about you learning theirs and them learning yours, and both of you speaking a bit in each other's love language. So if you like words of affirmation, this person could be learning to express or trying to express their emotions more openly to you and more consistently. And if there is this physical touch but you don't really like to be touched, then you may be making an effort to like give this person cuddles or to like hold their hand when you're walking or whatever it may be. And it doesn't have to be these particular love languages either, but essentially there is a very, very big energy of cooperation here, and this person wanting to give you the best that they can out of what they feel that they can give you right now. Because this is someone who is realistic. This is someone who is grounded, someone who is practical. This isn't someone who is going to make false promises. And I think they're very straightforward, which may sometimes come across as insensitive, but I don't think this person's intention is to be insensitive or to like hurt you or to be mean or to like discourage you. I think they're just very, very realistic. Maybe they're maybe not the most optimistic person is something that's coming through, and that may be something that also causes difficulties in communication with them, especially if you are someone who is on the opposite end of the spectrum, like if you're more optimistic or if you are more open-minded when it comes to possibilities. I don't think this is someone who's closed-minded, but I do think they are a bit stubborn with their own beliefs and their own ways of being and ways of thinking. One thing that is that I think there's so much happening in this person's head, like I think they may not make it obvious to you, but I think they think about you a lot. Like, you are on their mind all the time, and they really, really care about you. I know this is not, or is this a pomegranate? I'll bring this closer to you so you can decide. I know it's, I mean, it looks kind of like a seal, like a wax seal, but it also looks like pomegranates to me. So we're gonna say that's pomegranates. Okay, I was thinking of Max Foch. Maybe you'll know why pomegranates reminded me of him. But the UK could be significant since suddenly Max Foch is in my head. But this person really, really values you, and they want this connection to thrive. And they want to thrive with you. Like, they want to do well, and they want to do it with you. That's essentially at the core of this energy. And I think that's important that you know that, and that you try to understand them in their own language. Look at things from their perspective as well. I think you both may be prone to misunderstanding each other, and this could be because of past experiences that you've had, but this also feels like an incredible opportunity for growth and for learning about each other and becoming more secure in this connection as well. There may still be a lot to figure out when it comes to practical issues, but the feelings and the intentions, I think, are very much there. And if this is someone that you actually are in separation with, which I don't think is going to be a big percentage of you, but if that is the case, then I think this is someone who has not stopped feeling the way that they used to feel about, like, that was a bad sentence. I don't think this is someone who has stopped caring about you or has stopped loving you. I think that's still very much there. And before I do this, I will quickly mention what we're doing in the extended, because I think I'm gonna forget afterwards. But we are looking at the truth of this connection, what you need to know, past, present, future, whatever wants to come through. We will also get tons of channeled messages from this person and tons of channeled messages from your higher self, and finish off with some advice. So yeah, now let's get back into this. How is this person currently feeling? About pile 2, please, universe. How is this person currently feeling? We have the Queen of Pentacles. They really, really, really admire you. They really trust you. We have the Hierophant. Again, Taurus energy could be significant, but this to me is all about commitment. It's about loyalty. It's about responsibility. This person is committed to you. Like, that's just what it is. But at the same time, it feels like this connection is going through some kind of transformation, or some transformations. Someone could be moving or switching jobs, and maybe that's why they are so busy. Someone may be like graduating. Someone may have lost someone close to them recently as well. It feels like there are some difficult energies surrounding this situation, and there may have been like multiple changes that happened recently which have strained the connection a little bit as well. But in terms of how they're feeling, there is so much commitment, so much desire to make this work. They are incredibly attracted to you as well. I can't really ignore that. We have the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Something about practicality, it seems. Like, it's definitely not a matter of emotions. If you are going through a rough patch, it's not because they don't care, or it's definitely not because there is no love or anything along those lines. This person is all in. Like, if you are questioning your connection with them, I don't even think they're there. I don't think they are even in a place where they are questioning. Like, it's a done deal for them. Like, I think they feel secure in the connection, but frustrated by the circumstances. I think that's the best way to put it. And for some of you, this could be that you are just in different phases of life or focused on different things. So it's not that easy to come together and like be present with each other very often. I feel like you just need to talk. I feel like the more you talk, the better. And I don't mean like talk 24/7 and keep each other occupied and do nothing else, but reasonably, the more you talk, the better, I think. Because I think you both want the same thing, and if you are unsure about something, if you are anxious about something, you can ask this person to clarify things for you. Maybe they won't do it out of their own incentive because they don't need reassurance, but if you do, it's okay to ask for it too. If there is like something they said that made you confused, something you didn't quite understand, you can ask them. They see you as a source of inspiration as well. I think you are waking this person up to different sides of life because, again, to me, they feel quite practically minded. And I think they are realizing that they have been missing out a little bit. We have a Four of Swords sideways. I really think you should talk to each other. With Jupiter and Libra, I'm not an astrology expert, so I'm not gonna claim to like know all of these, but what this combination reminds me of is like Wheel of Fortune energy in a partnership sense. So this connection is definitely evolving. Something is changing. And it feels a bit inevitable, but it also feels like it's to make the connection better. If you are in separation, or I feel like none of you have like really severed this connection. So if you are in separation, I would say you're potentially on a break and not like a full separation. We have the Fool. Aries energy could be significant. And we have a Temperance in reverse. You just need to be patient, I think, especially if you've been keeping your mind really busy with this connection and how things are going to play out. There is a sense that there will be shifts and things will become smooth and like easy flowing. I don't know why I suddenly briefly forgot to speak, forgot how to speak. Communication. I think you may be miscommunicating with this person a lot. You may have difficulty expressing yourself. They may have difficulty expressing themselves. So you might want to look into that. Because I really feel like this is a safe space for both of you. At least that's what this person is trying to create. I feel like this person is also a whole lot more committed to you than they may like let on, because they don't want to like put expectations or make you have expectations of them. They want to go with the flow, but yet there is a very strong sense of commitment already, regardless of where you may be with this person. And something flew out. It is the Knight of Pentacles. They want to get there slowly. And bottom deck energy is the King of Cups. We have a double King of Cups in your pile. That's the Tower. I thought it might be. And the Moon. Something is definitely shifting in this connection. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fix or a quick shift, but something is definitely changing for the better in this connection. And we will get into those energies more in the extended, but I think you can trust this person. Obviously, trust your own intuition first, and by your intuition, I really mean intuition and not anxiety or fear. And one way to differentiate, although not foolproof, I would say is intuition is very calm. It's just a knowing, and anxiety is like, it just suddenly kicks in and it's like trying to get your attention. It's potentially screaming at you, yelling at you, telling you like, alert, alert, something is wrong, like something is wrong, get up, and something is wrong. Don't sit down. Like, it's, you know, and intuition is just an inner knowing. I cut the deck and we have the Two of Cups in reverse. Some of you may have relationship anxiety, or if you're not in a relationship with this person, just anxiety around how this situation will play out. And there's this energy of like, don't try to look for something that is wrong. And I understand if situations in the past have not worked out in the way that you hoped that they would or expected them to, and maybe that is causing you to be guarded, but it feels like this is a connection where you are safe and you are healing from a fear of like abandonment or rejection, or it is an opportunity to heal from this fear, because this is a safe space. That's what it feels like. And maybe it would help to focus more on yourself and how you are feeling rather than how the other person is doing as well. Because I think you're very good at that. I think you're very good at focusing on your partner and understanding them and like putting the effort in. I think you're a very good partner. But I also think you sometimes get in your own way or bum yourself out by trying to read between the lines when there is nothing between the lines. It's just empty space. And it's safe space. That's what it feels like to me. And I don't know if I mentioned this, I don't remember, but Sagittarius energy could be significant with temperance coming out. But yeah, let's get you some advice to finish this off for now. What does pile 2 need to hear, please? Oh, okay. I guess we'll take all 3. Through the power of love, all shall unfold in the most perfect way for all concerned. This card is a blessing from an angel who is here to reassure you that all is well. There is no need to worry. All is bathed in a sea of divine love. Can you hear that I'm smiling? Yeah, could have just pulled this card instead of talking to you about this for like 20 minutes, probably. This said it better than I ever could, but yeah, this is what I was talking about. You are an ocean of light unfolding through the infinite space of life. Through the space between each thought, you can see your... Through the space between each thought, it's like reading between the lines. You can see your true immortal nature, although I guess this is irrelevant in terms of the message, but the oneness of spirit that dreamt itself into the many is a part of you. Like a whirlwind from heaven, it appears and reappears in its endless forms. A smile fills your heart with longing. Through the magnetism of divine love, you merge with another, and love becomes an all-embracing thought. By a touch, a word, or a glance, love heals, unites, transforms, and transfigures all things. Transformations, healing. This is your season of love, a time of positive transformation, a time of happiness. Yes. Yes, I'm very happy with these messages. I hope you are too. Let's get one of these as well. What message wants to come through for my pile 2s, please, universe? I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And one more. Oh. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Okay. I guess that could not be clearer. Listen to your intuition. And yes, I think on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and maybe see you in the extended, maybe not, but see you soon, hopefully, either way, somewhere, somehow, and yeah, bye! Hello, my beautiful pile 3s, and welcome to your reading on how the person on your mind is feeling about you. And we also have an extended for this reading, which I will talk about later on. So let's get into this. We're starting off with Pisces, I believe. We have lunar eclipse, Cancer energy could be significant. We have Cancer. We have number 50, under a spell, and number 77, the sword. We have 1, law of attachment. We have the crone, number 13, and makes me think of the death card, so Scorpio energy could also be significant. We have all the water signs out right now. And we have the sustainer. The number 24 could also be significant because it is repeating. You could be 24, they could be 24. I'm 24, but I don't think that's why 24, like it's not for me, but maybe it is significant to you in some way. We have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have Temperance. Sagittarius energy could also be significant. I would say this feels like a breakup or a separation with someone who felt and still feels deeply connected to you, but there is this sense of this person not having given you the energy that you know you deserve, that they know you deserve, and that you do deserve. And this doesn't feel like bad intentions, or they try to go behind your back or anything along those lines. I really don't think that's the case. It feels more like, and if that was the case, you will know. And I could still see this applying, but for most of you, I feel like this is someone who tried their best and it didn't quite work out that way. And this is someone who is very much mesmerized by you. That's the word I'm gonna go with, because that's what it feels like. Like you kind of knock them off their feet. They are confused about this connection. They're confused about their feelings. They're confused about who they are, about what they want. And I think this entirely has to do with what's going on with them internally, rather than something like they didn't want what you offered, because I don't think that's the case at all. There is a very strong desire, a very strong attraction, a very strong pull. You are something that they treasure, and maybe their actions haven't really matched that energy. There seems to be a little bit of a mismatch between what they were feeling and what they were able to express to you. But I also feel that this is someone who wanted to do better, but it feels like it just didn't quite fall through in that way. And with this attachment card, this person may have been a little bit, for lack of a better word, dependent on your energy. And what I mean by that, or what I'm trying to say, is you have very nurturing, very gentle, very giving energy. It seems to have felt very generous to this person, very abundant, and I think they were quite hooked on that, to the point where maybe they were forgetting about themselves a little bit. And then at one point there seems to have been this situation where they really messed up because of a lack of connection with their own self, because they neglected their own self. And I'm by no means trying to blame this person or judge this person. They are very much human, and things sometimes don't go the way we wanted them to, or sometimes we get too overwhelmed and it's difficult to figure out which way to go. And that seems to have been the case for this person. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. And I think a lot of this is also caused by the current separation that you may be in, because what was once stable and in their reality seems to have ended. And it seems to have been a powerful ending, something that had a big impact on this person and their emotional body and how they perceive themselves. And I think they miss you a lot. They recognize that you put in a lot of work to make this connection work, that you may have been kind of carrying it on your shoulders in a way. And not because this person didn't want to take responsibility too. It just feels like everything was kind of muddled in their head. And this could have been caused by past wounds that they were still carrying. It could have been caused by inner child wounds. And of course, having wounds is not an excuse to mistreat someone, or if that was the case in your situation, or it's not an excuse for anything, but it is a reason to take responsibility for our own healing. It's an opportunity to take responsibility for our own healing. And I see this person wanting to do this, but at the time of this connection, it feels like they were not there. Like they were not at a point where they could recognize where they were hurting and where they could recognize what they would do differently, or how they would deal with this pain. There is a bit of an avoidant energy to this person, though I don't think it's because they wanted to escape from this connection. I think they may just have a tendency to, for example, escape by drinking or going to the gym all the time, or just finding a new hobby and becoming obsessed with it so they have no time to think about anything else. This is someone who is in between recognizing where they would like to heal, recognizing what hurts and how it hurts and why it hurts, and shedding their habits that may not be allowing them to see their feelings and themselves clearly. And an escapist behavior doesn't have to be about substances or like drinking. It doesn't have to be about any of that. It can just be someone who is escaping by filling their time or their energy, the space that they have with other things. But right now, this person is heavy on their mind about the fact that they feel that they messed up. And maybe you don't see it the same way. Maybe that's not what happened at all, but I think this is someone who is currently being very hard on their own self, but still trying to accept what happened and that the past is the past. But they seem to have a lot of regrets, and I think they are currently recovering from whatever separation you may have experienced. I think they want to come back, at least to have a conversation or a moment of connectedness. I don't think this is a done deal for them at all. There is this energy of things being like unfortunate or bad luck or the wrong time. I think they really, really did and do care about you. There is such a sense of like fondness and warmth and just being like head over heels. But then it's surrounded by this fog of a lack of connection with their own self. And I think this is also something that they may have been like learning to value from you by seeing how you take care of yourself. I think that is also partially why your energy feels so attractive to this person, because I think they find you inspiring, and there is a bit of an energy of like wanting to be more like you. Not in the sense that they want to be like exactly like you, but I think you have some habits or knowledge or wisdom or perspectives that this person really admires. They're definitely trying to be strong and to just keep going. But I can also see that this has been a very difficult process for them. You may have also been on and off with this person, Because there's an energy of like, we separate, but we are connected. We are far apart, but we are connected. Let's get into the tarot. I'm just going to put these away. And before I get into the tarot, I will quickly mention what we're doing in the extended, because I might forget. In the extended, we are looking at the truth of this connection, past, present, future, whatever wants to come through. I'm not putting a limit on that. And we will also get tons of channeled messages from this person and tons of channeled messages from your higher self. And we will finish off with advice. So that's what we're doing. And now let's keep looking at their current feelings. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. They feel like they lost an incredible opportunity. I think they saw a lot of potential in what you had and felt a lot of comfort, a lot of being at home, like coming home. But they seem to have lost that, and I think that's also one reason why they may feel very unsafe and unstable right now in the circumstances that they're in, because they seem to have lost like this safe space that they used to have with this connection. And this doesn't have to be a very recent breakup, though for most of you it feels like there was a recent ending, or at least a recent influx of emotions. But this is essentially someone who is still like mourning and grieving the loss of this connection. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. We have the Eight of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have Death in reverse. Scorpio energy is coming through again. We have the Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot about like luck, feeling very unlucky. That flew out very in a very sharp way, for lack of a better word. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. We have 3 pages. Right now, I think they're ruminating a lot about how this situation played out and how it ended. And I think they're trying to give themselves closure and to get some sense of clarity about why this happened the way that it did. And I think they do blame themselves, but at the same time, I think they're also confused about like why they couldn't do better. I think there's a lot of confusion in their energy right now. A lot of like repeating the same questions, a lot of circling back to the same thoughts, to the same moments, to the same conversations that you may have had with them. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse. We have 2 tens, and A lot of pages. I do think they also feel a bit inadequate right now. Dwelling in more of an insecure energy about their own self. I think they're finding it difficult to move forward and to be happy, or to allow themselves to be happy as well, because I think they feel guilty even if they don't fully understand all of the details of this situation right now. Like it could have been a gradual process, but it feels like they maybe weren't very aware of this gradual process, and it feels like it just everything changed overnight. So I think there is a big sense of loss and like some level of shock as well, of losing something so suddenly. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Tower. It feels like all of this was very unexpected, and I think they're still reeling from the shock of that, from the aftermath, from the intense emotions that it has given them. I think they're trying their best to be happy, to not trying their best to be happy, but I think they're trying their best to look at things from the bright side, but I feel like they're having a very difficult time with this. Is there anything that we're missing from the tarot? We have the Four of Cups. There is also an energy of, while on some level I think they want to move on, another part of them doesn't seem to want to. I think in certain ways they are still holding on to this connection and finding it very difficult to let it go. Which is very understandable. I think there are a lot of emotions to process here about how this all played out. And you could have both played into this kind of end result. Maybe you both needed to focus on other things for a bit. It feels like there's a lot of love that runs between the two of you. But maybe right now you weren't good for each other. But that doesn't mean you never can be. That doesn't mean you never were. It just might mean that right now there are some other things to figure out and some other things to think about and to work on. I want to get you some advice now. Do not discount your imagination, for it has great power. Amazing things will unfold for you if you pay attention to your imagination. Respect and honor it, for just below the surface of this seemingly real world, there exists a dreamlike world full of imagination. What you imagine is not fiction. Very often it can be the beginning of a wonderful new creation. I would not, again, take this energy as there potentially could never be any change in this situation. I don't think that's the case. This feels a bit like, I mean, it also depends on what you want. If you don't want to pursue this connection, you also don't have to. You have free will. But I would not say that, like, oh, like, you're not compatible, this is done, okay. You know? I don't think relationships are so easy that you can always write them off like that unless you have a specific reason to, or you feel that that's the right thing for you to do. In the end, you should be the one to decide that, what situations you want to stay in and what situations you don't want to stay in. And you need to decide in your own time. I dropped a bunch of cards, but this one came out while that was happening. So stop focusing on this situation for a while and just bring your awareness within. Close your eyes, relax, and let go. Take a walk in the park or do whatever it takes to detach. A solution will soon become obvious and all will work out fine. Maybe both of you are really ruminating about this situation and about how this all played out, about your potential role in how this played out. And it could help to, like, I'm gonna call it air out your mind a little bit, like open some windows, allow some unhelpful thoughts to move away and move out and make their way out of your mind, and allow some new thoughts, some new maybe interests or new perspectives to come in. And we have a plane that's passing, in case that is a sign for someone or means something to someone, or in case you can hear the sound, that's what it is. And we have surrender. I can release my need to control. I said this in one of the other piles, but you shouldn't ever have to convince someone or a situation to be in your life. You don't have to force anything. And that doesn't mean that something didn't work out the first time. Oh, it's never ever going to work out. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that right now it needs to be somewhere else, or something else needs to happen. Of course, it'll depend on your exact situation and what you want as well, but in any case, you shouldn't have to control someone or something to keep it in your life. You never have to convince someone to be in your life. There are so many people and so many situations that do want to be in your life, and that can be in your life in this moment, and that can feel good to have in your life in this moment. And it's okay to release things if they're not serving you. That doesn't mean they will never come back. That doesn't mean they will never change. But there is a need for honesty about what works for you and what doesn't. And yeah. But you are the best judge of that. So no one else can tell you, like, do this or do that. I mean, they can, but you don't have to listen to them. Because people will talk, but, you know, you do you. But yeah, on this note, this is all I have for you for the main reading. I will see you soon if you are coming with me to the extended, and if not, I wish you a great day. I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye.